know what you're thinking. There's nothing to do in Dokkan. Why are we doing this, bro? It's because we love you guys, all right? That's why we're here. And in the spirit of that, welcome, 5-9 Gamers. We are back with another installment of your favorite Dokkan Battle podcast called the Dokkan Battle Podcast. But we're going to speed it up this week. Joining me this week is the Masked Ningen, J Fanta, Saito Raijin, and Minato. How you guys doing?
Yo.
Hello.
Doing pretty
vegetables.
Good. Excited
Let's
for this
jump
one.
in. Yeah, so hyped for this one.
Woo.
Let's jump into episode 39, if you want to call it that, Drykkan Battle. So let's just jump in and talk about whatever's going on in Dokkan. We'll begin with some Tapion talk, because obviously, you know, Tapion is so hyped, they deserve some time to discuss. How have you guys been enjoying your non-summons, or if you did summon, my condolences. How have your Tapion summons been going?
I love using LR Tapion. Love him in my box.
I summoned from quite some time ago since I'm on JP, but I do really have fun using the LR Tapion, especially with the AGL Tapion EZA. I just don't find the opportunity to use them that much as I would like to.
I think one thing that's appealing about this duo, running the Tapion EZA with the LR Tapion, is the fact that the synergy is so on point, and they're using links that you don't typically use, like Brainiacs, what was it, Hero, like some of these links that you don't typically use, but they give you some pretty crazy numbers. I was doing Super Battle Road, and much to my surprise, they were putting up ridiculous stats before even getting the rotation going. It was pretty nice to see. I guess that's kind of what you expect from like really obscure units, right?
Definitely. I mean, if they were bad, then that wouldn't be good for them. The LR Tapion could definitely get really, really high defensive numbers with the AGL one. My favorite part about using them together is you're able to use the LR's active skill, which is probably still one of my favorites to this day. The OST is so good.
Yeah, they're super fun to use. I think it's that they have that problem that a lot of units like them do, is that they have to be run in very specific situations, otherwise you just can't really use them at all. So like if you don't run them alongside another Tapion unit, then they're obviously not going to be anywhere near as good. And then there's only a couple of teams where you can really run those like units together as a combo. So I didn't pull them, so my only experience with using them in game is I did a couple of different events, but I used like a siblings bond team using the Go Bros lead, because obviously that is their secondary leader skill. And even on that team, they're still able to do pretty well. They get some decent numbers on that rotation with the AGL Tapion. But yeah, that's their main problem, is there's just not a lot of places you can really use them outside of the 1 or 2 teams. So they're super good, but in like a hyper-specific scenario. So I don't think they're ever going to be considered top tier, even if they were a lot better than they are, just because of how limited they are in where you can use them. But yeah, obviously the active skill's sick. The animation is crazy good, and like the OST obviously slaps. But yeah, you don't get a huge amount of opportunity to really use them, so it's a little bit sad.
Anybody else? Saito? Any thoughts on Tapion?
I like the unit. I didn't pull it, sadly. I went pretty deep in on the banner. I shouldn't have done it.
Did
But them
anyone
together,
pull it here?
Yeah, I got him.
Oh, you did?
I might go back on the banner.
I mean,
but look,
it cost no.
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Please
We're already
don't.
judging you for going pretty deep. Don't go further. I got him in
Man,
7 multis, which is still pretty bad, but I got him.
I want them though.
Yeah.
Like Tapion.
Yeah, it's super
The
fun
banner's
to
so
use,
bad.
but yeah, the banner sucks, and it's right before the anniversary. I did more multis than I originally planned to, and like, yeah, I do want him, but it's so close now. I can't justify wasting any more stones.
I mean, honestly,
I
the
feel
only
you on
thing
that.
that would really make you regret not summoning for Tapion would be if we get a chain battle that requires Tapion. Is there a chain battle
Imagine.
with Tapion that's coming up? Did JP get anything like that?
No, I don't believe so.
No. So I mean, what else do you need him for?
I mean,
You're
yeah,
fine.
'cause the
there's no Super Battle Road category coming out, so
Yeah, even with the LR, that's only one extra. Like, there's only if you include, I guess it would include Minotia as well. So there's 3 other Tapions, because there's a free-to-play one, and an SR Minotia. So if a chain battle did require Tapion units, it'd have to be Tapion and something else, because there isn't enough Tapion units on their own. So I think
could just
hopefully
be
it'll be all right.
I mean, if they did one like that, it would probably be all the Wrath of Dragon heroes rather than just Tapion, hopefully.
That'd be kinda
Not,
cool.
It's just Tapion. Yeah, that would be cool.
Imagine like a Harudagon chain battle, and that's the
Yeah,
that'd be
just-
kind of cool.
That'd be cool.
I say kind of cool. It'd still be chain battle, so it would inherently not be cool. But you know,
So
Before
what you're
we
saying is
Nice.
summon.
Good to see.
Gotcha.
before we rapidly move on to the JP side of things, I do want to ask all the global players, because obviously nobody really wants to summon because the 6-year anniversary is right around the corner. How many stones do you guys have saved up currently for the 6-year anniversary?
Let me just look at my phone real quick. Oh man, that's crazy. Like I'm at like 0 stones, but
That's pretty good.
right, that's the best number out there. Right, if you're over
You're super
100, you're doing it
prepared.
wrong.
Well, it's okay. You'll get him first
wow.
multi.
I must
guaranteed.
be doing it right then because I have 90. So
Oh my gosh.
You're doing
Right.
it wrong. Go ahead and summon on the Tapion
Says the one
banner,
with
right?
0 stones.
Just
I
drop
don't
that
want to
number.
say then. I don't want to say how much
I love
have.
how we give good advice to like our viewers, but then when we don't take it ourselves.
Well, no, but
we
that
tell
is-
them to
we're-
save,
thing
and
is-
then we never save.
Being in as a
but-
whale, it doesn't matter.
yeah, people say that in the comments of videos and stuff all the time, and it's like, yeah, the sensible advice is to save. I never said I was a sensible person. I never
Also,
made that claim.
Let me defend you for a second. As a content creator,
Yeah,
if
exactly.
you practice what you preach, there are no videos. You're not going to be doing any content. So it's unfortunate that we have to be hypocritical, but it's for the sake of the content. All right, for
You're
the
giving
content,
advice-
as someone would say.
Exactly.
We're giving advice for the viewers, not for specifically ourselves.
Plus, I mean, to be fair, a lot of the time when I give advice when it comes to summoning on specific banners, I will usually follow up whatever I say with, you know, if you're a whale and you spend a decent amount on the game, you're probably just going to summon
Hello.
for whatever anyway. So,
Yep.
That
That being
is,
said, I
uh,
have 3,000 stones saved up so far.
yeah, so I
Yo,
mean,
you're
that's the
doing it
thing.
wrong.
my
The anniversary is going to drop, and I'm going to buy like everything, all the sales, all the PLF Trove
I mean,
packs.
all the
so, you know,
sales-
I'll be doing okay.
When I got all the cells in JP, it was like around 1,000 stones. So, I mean,
Yeah,
pretty
it's-
good.
yeah, it's usually around about 1,000, if not slightly over, if I remember rightly from last year. And then there's the like PLAF ticket packs as well for global. So there's going to be plenty of stuff for me to waste my money on.
Massive
Nice.
hype coming up. So, all right, with that out of the way, let's move over to JP. We got some stuff to talk about in JP. So we'll quickly go over Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's EZA once again real quick, and then we'll move on to the meat and potatoes of this episode. Thoughts on the EZA? Best of all time, obviously, right? Yeah? Mhm,
Yeah, for sure. He's easily number 1.
Whatever you say.
Further, I do have fun using him. He's a very nice, consistent unit. He's on a lot of teams. Overall, though, he may not be like the best ever, you know, LR Broly level high or higher type of LR. He's still fun to use, and you know, especially since he's on the Hybrid Saiyans team at the very least, so you can make him look really good there. Like there, I got a turn 3 9 million attack stat with him with B-Pan, so I mean, you can make him look really good, and he could be really, really good in certain situations. So I feel like people may be at this point even underrating him just a little bit, but he's not really like busted amazing, you know.
Yeah, his biggest problem, I made a tweet about this, which I got a lot of good feedback in general for the overall description of how I would rate him, in the sense that he's really good as a unit that is balanced in a game that has already released multiple units that show that they could not care less about balance. So that's the biggest problem with him, is he is good, and like you said, you can make him look good in the right situations. The only problem is, why is he not, you know, on like LR Broly level when they've already shown that they're willing to do that with units? So it's just very weird that we're still getting, like, every now and then we'll get a run of units that are absolutely insane. Like if you think Saiyan Day gave us the EZA for LR Broly, and then not long after that we got the GT Super Saiyans dual Dokkan Fest, which every time I use them again on a team, I'm reminded of how ridiculously good they are, because I only have both of them at 55% and they're putting up higher attack stats than my like 90% Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who everyone still considers to be incredibly good. So like they've been releasing all these crazy good units, and then yeah, they give like the OG summonable LR and EZA, and for some reason that's the unit that they decide they're going to make balanced for some reason. So
You could definitely tell it's just the units that when they came out, they were absurdly broken, and then they're like, oh, we can't do that again. We gotta really be careful. Which is clearly what they did with this Gohan, compared to someone like Broly, who was really good when he came out, but he aged pretty quickly because of his flat numbers and loss of defense, where he needed a whole entire overhaul. You could tell they were more scared with making this Gohan actually like really, really, really good, if that makes sense. Which, again, I don't know why. It's a PvE game.
Yeah,
You should just
exactly.
make all the units like really like busted, but I mean, that's probably what their thought process was for some reason, but it is what it is at this point. At least he's still very good in runner.
By the way, before I forget, make sure to follow us on Twitch, Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube, check out all of our social media platforms everywhere. Links are all over the place. Make sure you guys lock into the 59G network today. Also, don't forget TikTok. We're on TikTok. Pretty cool. Anyway, let's continue to some more juicy news over on JP. The Tanabata celebration. We are getting closer and closer to finding out what's going to be going on with that. I think we're, what is it again, like 2 days away, 1 day away from like maybe getting some news on it?
Yeah, so yeah, go on, man. Sorry, I know you tweeted about it.
Yeah, so I did make a tweet about it, but last year they showed the info for the Gogeta on the 28th, like midnight, 4 a.m., depending where you are in the United States, which is a Sunday. And this year, obviously, tonight is going to be a Sunday, the 27th. So I think the info could potentially drop tonight, but it's either from tonight to the 29th. So we should definitely see news between there on what it actually is going to be.
Right. So in any case, Tanabata is on the way, and the rumblings have been building. We kind of already have an idea what to expect. Is it all but certain at this point that it's going to be Gogeta?
I mean, it seems very likely. Like the thing is, we always get these hints and stuff from the data miners, and usually when they very strongly hint at a specific character, it usually turns out to be correct. So, it's all the things with like, I think it was iSeriously posted that Beerus gif with the like he's coming thing, and then obviously the LRUI Goku came out. So normally when they post like a specific like actual character specific like kind of spoiler, it usually comes to pass. So I mean, the thing is with Dokkan, we can never really say 100% until it's in the files, but I would say it's probably 99% likely that it is Gogeta. So
I do agree with what you're saying, Ningen, that it's 99% likely, it's something like Gogeta Fusion Reborn, because that Frieza is from the Frieza's from the free-to-play. He's free-to-play, actually, from the actual story events. So they're obviously going to bring that back, and it could lead to more so of a movie's Fusion Reborn theme. But, sometimes they're kind of weird. Like, I know this was a long time ago, but remember how the 3rd anniversary, they were doing all kinds of Namek Saga stuff, and then they're like, oh, bam, LR Fusions. You never know what kind of curveball they may throw at us, but, I mean, I think that's more unlikely than it just being a Gogeta that we've all been waiting for since the Vegeta last year.
yeah, exactly. I think ever since that he came out, we've been patiently waiting for like the Gogeta variant. So this definitely seems like the good opportunity to release him. So on that note, some of you might have noticed, I did see someone mention it in the chat, but if you go over to our Twitter account as the podcast went up, we have tweeted out the link to the form. We are doing another fan-made cards video for the Tanabata LR Gogeta, so make sure you go over there, check out that link, design your own version of what you think the LR Gogeta would look like. And obviously we don't know when the information is going to drop. That video will probably come out fairly quickly, so if you want to be included, make sure you go over there as quickly as possible and give us your submission, because ideally we'd like to get it out before they officially reveal it. So if you want to be a part of that, go check it out. It was tweeted out about 5 minutes ago, so make sure you take part if you want to be featured in that video.
Any final thoughts on the Tanabata situation? Part 2 Janemba LR, maybe? Gotenks Wingman unit?
I think obviously the new banner is going to come with the new side units. I would be shocked if there wasn't one. I think it's the most likely option again is to be a Gotenks, because we haven't gotten a movie heroes type of Gotenks card just yet. And really they already gave us every other card that we could use as a side banner unit from Fusion Reborn already the past year. I think a part 2 LR Super G number would make the most sense. And, seeing with the new categorization with, the different types of super attacks, we could potentially see something with that. Maybe even a new category would be pretty cool. But other than that, it's just really speculation.
Yeah.
We see the AGL Janemba Awaken, that SR one.
Oh, the
again,
SR
to
one?
TOR.
I could see that.
Yeah.
When was the
That'd be
last
really
time an
cool.
SR unit awakened?
Somebody
I think
actually
it was Evil
tweeted.
Actually,
Birds.
yeah.
a few
Luca
years
made a
ago,
tweet
right?
about that. It was the, if I recall correctly, it was the physical Evo Boo.
Yep.
The SR one. That was the last time one.
Yeah,
SR
I saw that I saw that tweet as well. I think he said it was like 2 years ago or something. It was ages ago. Yeah. So
It was in 2019. Yes.
yeah, so they definitely should do that again soon. Make some of those units a little bit more. I remember, was it the 4-year anniversary? They released that physical SR Trunks. And I remember back then everybody was like, "Oh yeah, save 4 copies because they'll probably awaken him soon." And I still have those extra 4 copies just sat in my box.
Yeah. It's just there forever. I mean, it's really dumb they didn't awaken him.
Yeah, I mean, for a side banner unit, I think a Gotenks would be pretty cool. I feel like they're probably going to save that for a Dokkan Fest or an LR, but we still don't have a Goten and Trunks that fuse into Gotenks, and having it based around Fusion Reborn would be pretty cool, because obviously, like in the movie, they could have the animation for their transformation. There's the whole thing where I don't know how the hell they're able to tell, considering they're technically in another dimension, but there's the bit where they're like, "Hey, our dad's fused, we should fuse too." So like that would be the animation for their transformation. That'd be pretty cool.
Isn't it because
What if
like,
it's like
the portal between the 2 worlds was like open?
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
They probably
yeah.
could sense them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be cool if that's like another turn 1 transformation, so that like you could, and with the same name update, you could still run them on the same team as the Dokkan Fest Goten and Trunks. But then they turn 1 transform into Gotenks and can link with like the other Gotenkses. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would actually be very cool.
All right, let's move on. Saito, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How are you liking Peton Battle?
I like it. I'm one of those people who are desperate for Gregory's. So
Wait, what?
but the man, look, don't worry about that. Don't even ask.
Saito.
But wait, hold
Every
on, wait a minute. I go into the barber shop. I'm always collecting, but hold on, give me the collection system though. I need more cards to collect so I can freaking keep getting new things for the game instead of, oh, and I feel like the drop rates need to be changed a little bit because I don't have enough cards to do the super types to get more stuff. It's kind of annoying because I be losing, but I'm enjoying Peton Battle.
Wouldn't you agree that it's kind of annoying where like after you defeat an opponent, you have to wait for like an hour for a cooldown?
Yes.
It's pretty annoying, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
super annoying.
Well, guess what?
Polite segue.
You don't have to worry about that anymore.
Segway C, baby.
Because
Not if you're on JP.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Saito. Thank you. It looks like JP's getting an update where there is no cooldown. So Peton Battle top tier? Oh yeah.
Yeah, so basically,
Hey, man. Listen, coming to global.
So basically on this JP Peton battle, essentially what they did is they removed the season 1 characters, so now you can only get the season 2 ones, which is good because the last one before this was season 1 and season 2. So if you're missing out on some season 2 characters, you can get that. And they removed the cooldown for again the after you fight. So essentially after you complete a fight, instead of having to wait an hour before hopping in again, you can just instantly go on even with the cards you just got, which, well, over time, of course, it could add up to a lot more orbs because you don't have to wait anymore.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's super useful. I know the one thing I thought it was really weird. I guess it's a chance for people who didn't finish the collection, and I suppose the real reward is the orbs and stuff that you're getting. But I'd completely forgotten about the fact that it came back on global. I think it's only back for like a week or so, but it's still just the season 1 again. So I
think it's good because it allows people to kind of catch up.
Yeah, I guess
right?
that
It's
is the
not-
main reason, yeah, because I was lucky enough the first time around that I did actually finish off the whole thing, so
Yeah.
I guess now it's just, in a way it's good, because now I don't have to get stressed every time I beat a fight and just get all the same really rubbish cards again, but yeah, now it's all about just getting some extra orbs. But yeah, that update, I didn't even know about that until we were setting up for tonight, so that's definitely something that would be much appreciated once it comes to the global version as well.
I have a question. Actually, no. You guys have the question. Oh, perfect segue! We're moving on to the question
He's on
segment
fire tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
of the show.
Yeah, give him
Troko, do we have those
claps in
questions
chat.
lined up? Are you good? Hopefully you are. We are going to jump in to our questions right away. No break today, folks. This is a lighter, more abridged episode. Abridged. We're going to start with our first question coming from Mitch Hennessy, who asks, are these out of thin air categories inherently bad? would we be better off without the connected hopes and storied figures type of categories? Yes.
Yes, we would.
Yes.
100%.
But they want money.
They just feel like they probably feel like introducing a new category gives people somehow hype or something like that. Like, oh, it's a brand new team you could run. And then they bring out these actual garbage teams and people are like, well,
No.
like I remember what was the recent category that even the JP players were just really confused on, like, what is this basically? I know
Heavenly
Story
Hopes?
Figures is one.
Heavenly Events, sorry?
Heavenly Events,
Yeah,
yes.
Heavenly Events, the most recent one.
Like,
Isn't it?
at this point, like, even if like even the JP player base are confused on, like, what is this category supposed to be?
Yeah,
you can
but
tell.
see, the problem is it's all about money, and that's why they give a new category to like each new character, because otherwise you could the frugal Dokkaner could just say, I don't need this unit, I already have a leader for that category.
Yeah.
That's why they introduce these new categories, because it adds more intrinsic value to the unit. Even if you don't like the unit, it still leads a new category, which means whenever that Super Battle Road comes out or whatever, you're gonna need that unit. That's why they do that.
Or like those
Money.
Infinite Dragon Ball History / EGLG missions.
Yeah. They just want money. They don't care about the innovation behind the category name or whatever. It's just money.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for me, so to play devil's advocate a little bit, because everybody jumped in and said yes straight away, I don't think they're necessarily inherently bad as long as they're implemented in a more interesting way. So one of the examples that I always give when it comes to like category leaders is Tech Vegeta obviously leads the Super Saiyan 2 category. Now, that's not one that we would consider to be a weird category. But one of the reasons why I really like him is because Super Saiyan 2 is quite a small category in Dokkan, but his other leader skill is Resurrected Warriors, and so that combo together, you can make some really interesting combinations of teams. So I think the Goten and Trunks are kind of like an interesting example of a recent card. I don't mind so much if they introduce a new category and it's a little bit weird, as long as it's paired with a category that then complements it when it comes to team building. So like, if they brought out a category that was just some really weird, obscure thing, but it had a load of like Potara units on it, and then the unit's other leader skill was Fusion, then you could make a team where you're running a bunch of Fusion and Potara units. I know Final Trump Card is kind of that, but that was obviously people's big complaint when they split those categories originally, that they were on separate categories. So for me, it just comes down to how they implement it in the game. Like, if they give a nice mix of the leader skills, the whole point of the categories is supposed to be for your team building. So if they bring out a category and it complements really, really well with an existing one and allows you to use a bunch of units that go really well with the big hitters on that other category that, you couldn't run on teams together before, then that would be really good. So I don't necessarily think they're inherently bad. The biggest problem is that they just keep releasing these really random ones that only have like a handful of characters on, and then they don't pair them up with anything to actually like make use of the actual good units on those categories.
I think another issue with them releasing all these categories is that they don't really give you like incentives to really run the team, if that makes sense, especially with how bad the friend system is. We're trying to actually find these brand new category leads. Like, they bring out this category and then you just don't use it for months until like a LG mission or like a Super Battle Road stance comes out and you're like, oh, I can actually use this category now because people are actually running them, or something like that. I feel like if they more consistently gave incentive to run those categories, it could also, maybe make things a little better, because otherwise it just kind of feels like, oh boy, another category I'm just never going to use, basically, outside of the first week.
All right, let's move on to the next question, brought to us by Vince Over Heaven, who asks, do you think it's possible for absorption or shield super attacks to appear as active skills or supers in the near future? Something similar, if not straight up exactly like the Super 17 and Android 17 Dokkan events.
I can see that.
Yeah, I would like that. It'd be interesting to see.
That would be really nice.
Yeah,
So I would definitely add another layer, I feel like, to the gameplay, which definitely could be nice for a game like Dokkan. Type of like absorption. Because I know like we have some bosses like in the game that absorb Ki Blast specific super attacks. So like, what if we get like a friend point LR 19 and 20, where they absorb Ki based super attacks and they heal like 15-20% HP. Stuff like that could be really cool.
Yeah, 'cause-
Saito, J-Fan, you guys are trying to say something?
Oh no, I would just point out the fact that I think something like that would be really nice for things like because most of y'all love to do y'all no item runs for SBR, and them supers they just hurt, and having units like that to apply with that would just be there's a word for it for the game. I can't think of the word, but I feel like y'all know what the word I'm looking for is, right?
I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
It's not game breaking, but it'll make the game more interesting.
Innovative?
But there's a word for that, but I can't think of the word.
Just say, I don't know,
Innovative.
innovative. I'm not sure.
I mean, it would certainly be more
Yeah, that's
useful.
not the word.
That is for sure.
Yeah.
It'd just be fun.
Just bring a nice Android 19 and take that super. Just give me all that health back. Yeah.
It'd be interesting as well if they introduce something like that to combine it, because we have a couple of units that do it, but not many. Obviously, having more units that give you the ability to foresee super attacks, because obviously, even in some of the harder events, like if you think about like the legendary Goku event, he doesn't always necessarily super attack even every turn. So if you have a unit on your team who absorbs key-based super attacks, it's kind of like the same problem you have with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta or the Super Saiyan 4s in general with their super counters, is you can go through whole runs of events where they are never actually the one that is the target of a super attack. So something like that, like combined, would be quite interesting. And obviously if they brought out a unit that had some sort of, I guess in a way it's just the same as being a tank in general with damage reduction, but something to do with the different types of new attacks that they're bringing out as well, like the physical, I can't remember what they're all called, because what's the other one? It's physical.
It's like physical,
melee?
melee.
Yeah, melee. That's
yeah,
it, yeah.
physical, melee, other, and then key blast.
So yeah, that would be kind of cool if they actually differentiated between them, especially with like the androids are a good example, like Android 19. If they brought out a unit like that that could either absorb super based attacks, and then maybe he takes more damage from like physical, but then has damage reduction against melee. Like there's a whole mix of like things that they could do now that they're differentiating between them super attack types.
Or like, like a Super Gogeta where he counters all physical attacks, like when Janemba punched him in the head, and he's just kind of like, oh, you're dead.
Oh, that'll be a lot of work for them to implement because they'll try to do that art style where here's a giant fist. They got a lot of coloring to do.
Can you imagine all the giant like 120p like fist sprites hitting Gogeta?
How would it
let's
work with
move
like
on.
Invisible Man?
No, the
Hey,
best.
it's gonna be invisible.
The best one would be like
Let's
the
move on
Great
to the
Ape,
next
where it's like a
question.
giant fist on the entire screen.
Let's head over to the next question brought to us by JC Gamer 18K, who asks, do you think it's time to take older Dokkan Fest and banner units and put them on a permanent discount banner, 25 stone multi-banner, like units pre-120% meta to thin out the SSR pool? Basically saying these units will never be on new Dokkan Fest banners again.
For older Dokkan
That's
Fest,
like
I'd
a
say,
yes
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I'll say a yes no.
I'm not too sure. It's like it would be cool to put those units on a banner because I'm more so thinking of like if they would put like some way to get more access to those older Dokkan Fest because they're like never featured on banners ever again.
Yeah.
So like if there's like like a beginners starting banner or maybe the first time you get like a discount or something, and even have those units available for like red coins all time or something because those units are never there and I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't even have the unit, much less have maxed out. Like someone like Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta or STR Broly or something like that. I don't think that they'll take out those older banner units and thin out the SSR pool. If they're gonna do something like that, they probably would have done it some time ago. So I'm not sure. And then, especially if some of those units don't have EZAs at this point, it'll kind of be like, why someone on that banner? If that makes sense.
I think that's what honestly would probably break the banner if that makes sense because we're getting those EZAs they're flying through and having just summoning for those on a lesser banner, but they kind of losing out. I'm just saying.
I have a weird proposal. Jay Fanta, let me know if you agree. What if we move some of those older units into the friend summon?
Yeah, my life
I
would
was
be
actually
so
thinking
much
of that.
easier.
I mean, at this point, they're so undervalued anyway. You might as well put them in the free-to-play bracket, right?
I mean, like, yeah, at this point, like, again, so many people have those some of those older unfeatured units rainbowed. So if they put like I don't know, AGL Super Saiyan Goku or something like that into the friend point summon,
Give
At the
the
very
free to
least, you
play
get, like-
scene more value.
or free Baba points, I guess.
Like you said before, they're all about the money, so they'll never do that.
Yeah.
Never.
Because yeah, it is
All
a
right, let's
shame
move
some
on.
of those older
Oh, go
units
ahead,
are
go
like
ahead.
super hard to get, like the old 70% leaders and stuff. And obviously we get a red stone every now and then that lets you get some of those units. But that's the problem with the super old Dokkan Fest is they're only ever going to be on banners when they're one of the featured units, and a lot of them just don't ever get featured anymore. So it could be a good idea at some point, I guess. Like if it was one of those banners like you get 3 multis for 30 stones, but it's all like the 70% leaders or something, because I feel like that's better than nothing. There's probably some people out there that would actually summon on that banner, so maybe they could make something from it. But
Also off topic, but please bring back the type banners. Thank you.
yes.
Oh. All right, let's move on to the next question brought to us by Bshawn5D, who asks, do you think they would release a combined EZA for transforming Goku and Vegeta and label it Destined Rivals Saga 5? What? Similar to the
yeah.
Similar to the last 4 Goku Vegeta dual EZAs. What is a brief idea of what wait, hang on. Retake. What is a brief idea of what you would like to see from them post EZA? There you go.
I think instead of it being Goku and Vegeta, it would probably be Goku and Frieza. Since they released together, I feel like that would make a little more sense to me. But that's definitely not out of, that possibility. I personally would like them to, like, how when they get blue, they stop stacking? If they kept stacking from there, I think that would be good. Because I always found it kind of weird that they just stopped stacking. Other than that, for Goku, please let him not lose his damage reduction. That'd be cool. Or his, defense or something,
I think they should bump it up to greatly raising stats when you get to blue.
Yes, because Goku already, I think he greatly raises attack at blue, so they move
Yeah.
up to greatly. That'd be pretty
That
cool.
way, it incentivizes you using the unit, and then when you do, it actually justifies reaching that form because they're only meant for long form events.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because they
that's-
came
that's
out
what-
at a weird time, because obviously they were almost like, you could almost argue that they were like the blueprint for transformation units, and then all the other transformation and active skill mechanics came afterwards, and obviously were done so much better than them. I think the biggest problem with when it comes to EZAing them is obviously the main focus will probably be on what they do in their final form, because like you said, they definitely need to be much more worth actually using and getting to that final form. But the problem is, it's almost a shame they designed, I don't know how much work exactly goes into all of that stuff, but they designed each of those transformations and you only get them for one turn, and most of them are just they're just very bland. And if they EZA them, obviously they need to do something for each of those forms, and chances are they would probably just give them a smaller boost to what they already do. But it'd be kind of interesting if they mix it up a little bit and make each of the forms very specific to do something. So Super Saiyan 3 Goku could lower his own defense but do a ridiculous amount of attack for that one turn, and then God Goku could be ridiculously good defensively or something like that, just to make it a little bit more interesting. Because they fit on all of those category teams because they have all of those forms, but I mean you never really use them on those teams because they're not in that. They're only in that form for one turn, and then when they get to blue, they're just not as impressive as some of the other top tier units. Plus, it's a shame that especially those original ones, Vegeta's were a little bit better, but for Goku and Frieza, all their super attacks leading up to their final form are all just really basic and not impressive. And obviously with EZAs, they don't update those at all. So
Yeah, even Vegeta's before he goes into blue, they're kind of meh.
I really like
at
his.
least
Is it the
Super
Super
Saiyan God
Vegeta one, where it's where he jumps up and slam dunks the energy
Yeah,
ball thing? I really like that one.
That's a Super Saiyan 2 one. I think that looks pretty good. But it's basically, the beta version of the Angel Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, where he actually does it, but an LR fashion. I think it would be cool if somehow they just, I wish they would give those older units, some newer animations or something, but it's not really going to happen often.
Yeah, it's something.
And
that,
for the... Go ahead.
I was
After
just going
that,
to say,
we'll
it's something
go
that I
last.
always think is a little bit of a shame when they when they EZA some of these really old units and they become like the replacement on your current team for some of the newer units, but like their super attack animations look so outdated compared to the other units that you could be running. So it is a little bit of a shame that they don't update those as well, even if they just copy pasted them from newer versions of the units, because they used to do that with the old super basic ones all the time. So I don't think many people would complain if they did that.
Agreed.
All right, and let's move on to the last question, brought to us by Creative Name, who asks, am I too late to ask a question? Yes. Yes, you are. And that will wrap up this week's show. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Huge thank you to Troko for manning the boards and keeping the stream afloat. Don't forget to follow us over on Twitch, Twitter, the Discord, the Reddit, the website, the TikTok, everywhere. All the links are everywhere, so make sure you guys fully lock in to the 59G network today. And if you miss any part of the show, fear not. All of your favorite podcasting platforms have you covered. Google, Apple, Spotify, many more. Subscribe and do not skip a beat. Join us right here tomorrow for the next episode of the Dragon Ball Legends podcast for the Masked Ningen, J Phantom, Minato Flash, and Saito Raijin. I am Toonrami. Thank you once again for watching. Stay tuned and always remember to Dokkan responsibly. Bye-bye.